From what we went over yesterday, we start off with cluster chart, okay, health in the center, all other things that contribute to our health. And today we will get into lesson 2 a little bit and move along with that a little bit more. And we'll talk about your assignment that'll be due at the end of this unit. So we finished chapter 1 and 2, we'll have a unit test, and then we'll have that assignment due, and I'll explain it today. It's easy assignment, it's not hard. It'll cover a lot of stuff we got into. Also yesterday, new vocabulary: health, spiritual health, chronic disease, and wellness. Okay? We talked about all aspects of that. Where did we leave off at in lesson 1? We left off at spiritual.
Tips for social health. We're done with social.
We're done with social? Okay.
I think 4 tips.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
Give me a second, we'll launch here. So we did that. We talked about blue zones yesterday. I hadn't covered that with period 1, so I went over that a little bit today. And where are the areas where the centenarians are living the most in the world, people age 100 or older. And we talked about the different areas where that was at: Okinawa, Sardinia, Nicaria in Greece, Costa Rica, Loma Linda, California. Okay, we talked about all those aspects of it. And we talked about taking charge of your health, your own health, health triangle and balance. Talked a little bit about balance with people who don't have a balance between those 3 areas. Talked about my brother-in-law, trained for the Ironman triathlon that he was in. So we talked about 5 tips for living longer, physical health tips. Give me one, B-Rad, remember? We added a 6th one, but we had 5 listed.
8 hours of sleep.
8 hours of sleep or more a day. Chum, give me one.
8 cups of water.
8 cups of water along with nutritious food. Sam.
Don't do drugs and drink alcohol.
Alcohol, no smoking is the big one. Alcohol, not before you're 21. Alright, no drugs. Laurel.
Your faith.
Yeah, spiritual. He said we're going to add that as number 6. So on the test that'll be 6. Logan.
Personal hygiene.
Personal hygiene. Floss, bathe, brush your teeth, all those things. We missing one? Mouse? Exercise 30 to 60. And then we talked a little bit about the play 60 push. So we just started mental yesterday? Or we're social?
We finished social. We're just going on to the next topic. Yeah.
Okay. We covered spiritual also?
Yeah.
Okay. We just finished social and the social network. We got through that? Okay. Okay. I'll pull down the screen so you can see it a little bit better. Tips remaining, we got that, okay? Okay. Talked about the triangle a little bit. Wellness. Overall state of well-being or total health. Okay? And that's the last vocab for the, well, we'll talk about chronic at the end too. But overall wellness. Overall total health. Mind, body, spirit. Okay? Everything we're including there. Physical, emotional, social. Okay? And your level of wellness. So we'll talk at the end of this section about the wellness continuum and where we're at on that as people. Are we far to the right or are we far to the left? Knowledge, healthful attitudes, behaviors. Obviously you're going to probably do some that aren't, but everybody does in their lives. But the more healthful ones you can make, a lot better decisions. Eating for you guys, a lot different than eating for me. Alright, you guys can probably get by with going to McDonald's once a week. You know, not making that all your meals. You guys can live on some fried foods and things like that. But still have to get that other stuff in there. But have a balance. So things like that, total wellness, and hopefully it'll teach you a few things. Alright, health continuum. And there's a picture of it on, I think, page 10 in your book. Healthful behaviors promote your wellness. So anywhere you're at on the sliding scale of the continuum in your health. And there's a picture of the continuum. Far left, you don't want to be. Far right, you want to be. Kind of look there and see where you're at. I would say all of you guys that I'm looking at should be high level of health. You're young, you should have energy, overall feeling. Okay? I know chronic disease or chronic disorders on the left, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're suffering from it. Okay? I'm diabetic. They consider that a chronic disease, but I still think my health is far to the right. I really do. Okay? A little bit of heart disease, but I still think it's far to the right because of where I'm at with my my lipid numbers and my blood sugars and things like that are very, very good. So, and I feel really good. So I think I'm at that level. Almost 50, that's a good thing. Not that something couldn't happen, but I think I'm at that level. And at your age, you probably should be all at that level. If you're not, then you might not be getting that 8 hours of sleep. You might be dragging yourself on too long or somewhere where you're not at. So just have an idea where you're at on the scale. Chronic disease. Ongoing conditions such as heart disease, obesity, and cancer. Alright? It's ongoing if it's chronic. It reoccurs. Okay? The funny thing about some of those, you know, with me, with my bit of heart disease that I have, you know, I'm trying to do as much as I can to reverse it. It's never really hampered me at this point, and hopefully, maybe if I hadn't got diagnosed with it, maybe I wouldn't have known anything about it, but I did. So change in lifestyle, what I eat, changes things a lot. So chronic disease affects a lot of Americans. Okay, big factor because of what we eat and how we eat, the standard American diet. We'll talk about that more when we get to the nutrition chapter. But all those things where we're at. And that's why, you know, heart disease, #1 killer in the world. #1 in our country. Everybody thinks it's cancer, and everybody's been touched by some cancer in their life from some way. But heart disease, past cancer now. Okay? Doesn't quite get the publicity, but that's what American Heart's trying to do. Combination of physical, mental, emotional. A little review here. Social well-being. What can we do to promote our health? Sleep, nutrition. Okay, a couple examples. Water, exercise. And the health continuum. We just went over that, so I'm not going to go back over it. We want to be far to the right on the sliding scale. Okay? Allows you to assess where your health status is at. And everybody's health status is probably a little bit different, but I think you're all probably at the far right of the continuum. Oops. There we go. So we're going to start on lesson 2. So as it launches up here.
When did you get
I got diagnosed with diabetes in early in '97. My blood sugar numbers were a little bit high when I had a physical, and then they tried me on oral medication and it didn't work, and I felt horrible. I got down to like 150 pounds, lost a bunch of weight, was hungry all the time, couldn't get out of bed. Went and saw an endocrinologist in Ames. In November '97, they put me on insulin, and it changed me like that. Felt way better, energy level, all that stuff. John?
Do you eat added sugar?
Do I what?
Eat added sugar.
I try and limit the added sugar that I eat, or refined sugars. They're really bad. So, like in coffee, on my cereal, I use 100% maple syrup or honey. They're both really good sweeteners, and that, so I use that. If I make like muffins or something for me at home, I use maple syrup in it, things like that. So I try and avoid as much added sugar as I can, a little bit, but not very much. And really trying to avoid high fructose corn syrup. That's brutal. You want to stay away from that if you can. Now I know there's corn syrup in certain things. You know, the Gatorade, the sports drinks have a little bit in it. I think some of it's okay. And just the high level, if you look at a lot of cereals, if they have high fructose corn syrup, a lot of times they're after sugar, the second, third, fourth ingredient, and it's another form of sugar. It really is. It's another form of sugar, and you'd be surprised how many things is added to. Wheat thin crackers, added to that. Yeah, it's in there. Look down the list sometime. Little Debbie snack cakes, which I love. Haven't eaten one in a long time, but I love them, especially the Swiss cake rolls. High fructose corn syrup. A lot of the cereals. I eat Kashi, I eat the Kind, I eat Kashi granola. All that stuff has a lot of protein, a lot of fiber. Honey or maple syrup for the sweetener that's used in it. So try and avoid that as much as I can. Cheat a little bit, but not very much. So lesson 2, what affects health? Okay, so how heredity, environment, and other factors affect your health can make you make healthy decisions. And we're going to talk about those aspects. And we're going to talk about how your collage assignment that it'll be due at the end of the unit is going to encompass all that. It's not going to be a hard assignment, but we'll talk about that a little bit today. New vocabulary: heredity, environment, peers, culture, media and technology. I'll get those up on the board tomorrow. Mrs. Peterson will be proud of me for having a word wall. So influences on our health. All those things: heredity, environment, attitude, behavior, media, technology, all influence. Okay? Informed decisions. How do media and technology impact?
What decisions you make, like on your food or what you have around you.
What decisions you make, and plus, you guys are on the screens all the time, right? You're seeing advertisements, media, technology, what's on the internet. You guys get a lot of pop-up crap when you're on the internet for stuff. I do too. If I research something, I'll get all this pop-up stuff about advertising for other things or different types of food or vacation spots or something like that. So they all influence, and they influence your health by the advertisements you see. They influence your health by the people that are in them. Okay, the food they're eating, things like that. And we'll talk more about that when we get into that later. Influences on your health. These, what do I have, 7 there? Heredity. And as we break down vocabulary in the chapter, we'll talk about that. Heredity. What's heredity mean? We'll define it a little bit. What's heredity mean?
Stuff from your genes.
Yeah, stuff from your genes, from your parents. Stuff they hand down to you. Okay? Physical environment. Where you live, isn't it? Do you live in interstate Chicago, or do you live in rural Iowa? Okay? Social environment. Who do you hang out with? Who are your friends? Influences you a lot. Hopefully good, not bad. But it does. When my brother went through treatment years and years ago for alcohol and drugs, the first thing they told him when he got to the treatment facility is you have to change your friends and you have to change where you go. Those 2 things, if you want to whip this. You can't keep going to bars, can't keep hanging out with the people you've been hanging out with. Culture. We'll talk about that and define it. What influences us? Attitude, behavior, and the media. So heredity. Traits that were biologically passed from our parents. Good one, bad ones. Okay? I have a bunch of good ones. My grandparents, my dad's parents both lived to be 89. My dad turns 90 a week from today. My mom was 86 when she passed away, so they lived a long life. My heart disease, genetic a little bit. My mom's, all her brothers and sisters, except her twin sister, all died before they were 50 from heart attacks. 3 of the 4 died before they were 49. Okay, so a lot of genetic factor there. My mom had a valve replaced when she was 62 years old in her aortic part of her heart that made her live or helped her live another 24 years. Titanium valve, probably wouldn't have lived without it. So what's handed down to you? Okay? Do you have a lot of people in your family that have had cancer? A lot of people in your family that are diabetic. Okay? I passed that on to my kids. Okay? I didn't become diabetic till I was older, but hopefully my kids won't get that trait from me. But I also have good traits, long lifespan in my family. Environment. We're going to talk about that a little bit and some key things in our environment. physical places which you live. We already talked about that a little bit. You're now going to Iowa. All right, where do you live at? Okay. Most of the city, pretty nice area. Everybody that lives rural, pretty nice homes. Socioeconomic status, pretty good here. Not probably like Waukee or Ankeny, but still pretty good. Okay? All factors. Next one, people who make up your world. Who you're with, who you're around. That's pretty simple. And then the culture you live in. What kind of culture do we have here in Algona? What drives most of our culture here? Farmland. Okay? Farming, hogs, cattle, farming soil. Okay? Influences a lot of our culture. It's a farming community. Okay? Pioneer employs people. Snap-on, even though it's not farming, they employ people. A lot of blue-collar workers, office people, white-collar people downtown, lawyers, doctors in the hospital, okay? White-collar workers, a lot of blue-collar workers. Okay, so that's the culture we're in. People that work at Algona High, Algona schools, Garrigan schools, a lot of teachers employed in this town too. So you get away from a couple of the plants and the schools, everything else is pretty much farming organized. People employed by the co-ops, or the numerous co-ops, or new cooperatives that give people jobs. So the environment, sum of all your surroundings. Let's talk physical a little bit. What can you do in Algona that you can go to New York and do the same thing? You can go to Kansas City and do the same thing. You can go to Chicago and do the same thing. You can go to Los Angeles and do the same thing. But you can't go to Mexico and do the same thing. You're on the right track, not eat a hot dog. Gabe said eat a hot dog. You're on the right track.
With water?
Water, drinking water. Drinking water. We are the richest country in the world because we have safe drinking water from coast to coast. You can go anywhere and drink out of a water fountain, you're not going to get sick. Went down and visited Mexico in March of 13. Jill and I and the kids went down with her sister and her husband and one of their kids. They have a condominium down in Puerto Penasco. It's up in the corner of the Sea of Cortez. Neat place, big shrimping area, beaches. The condominium's right off the beach, really, really nice, tall condominium place. We drove down there from Phoenix and we got, I don't know, probably 20 miles from the border, 25. And we stopped to use restrooms, and there's this machine here that you fed with quarters or dollars, and it had purified water in it. So I'm thinking, why do we need the purified? I'm like, oh, you know, Mexico, the water. Yeah, people are going down there, coming back and forth, getting the water. Well, when we got to Mexico, we drank bottled water, did shower in the condominium with the water. My brother and sister-in-law, or sister-in-law and brother-in-law, had a really good filter on their kitchen faucet in the condominium. We made coffee out of that, okay? But the water affects what else? Yes?
My dad got E. coli like 2 or 3 years ago from there.
Yeah, E. coli, Montezuma's Revenge, dysentery, whatever what you want to call it. It's not very, very good. Parasitic, and the people in Mexico, they're used to it. People here in this country, we're not, because our water's all purified in that. Their immune system's built up to it. But what do you suppose can affect us down there that you don't even think about? And I didn't think about this at all. Okay, you go to a restaurant and you order a big thing of guacamole, and the guacamole is really good. And then they dice up a bunch of vegetables, cucumbers and that, and they serve it with you along with chips. What's the problem there, do you think?
They have to wash the food.
They have to wash the cucumbers and the vegetables with that water, and if they don't peel it, and you eat that, happened to my sister-in-law about 6 years ago. They were at a restaurant that they actually took us to, and she ate the cucumbers and the guacamole, and the peel was still in the cucumber. Cucumber had been washed in the water at the restaurant. Not safe to drink. For us, sick as a dog. Montezuma's Revenge. Vomiting, both directions, the whole 9 yards. She was really, and it didn't take her long. She got sick within like an hour and a half of eating it. So that's what they attributed it to. So I didn't even think about that going down there. Didn't even think about that at all. Okay? If you've ever gotten sick like that, it's not fun. Okay? It's not fun. Didn't even think about that. So the water aspect is huge. Okay? Huge. We did go out and eat in like a street restaurant that was kind of neat. Ate a bunch of fajitas and stuff. And down there, that for top to put on your fajitas, they have like radishes and things like that. That restaurant catered to a lot of Americans. All their vegetables they served us were all peeled. No peels, no outside skin on any of the vegetables. Obviously, avocados wouldn't hurt you because why? They're inside the peel. You would peel it out. You wouldn't be eating the peel of an avocado if it was washed. Okay? So environment, some of your surroundings, everything that involves it. Okay? So I jumped ahead a little bit because water quality is listed here about environmental factors that affect your health. Neighborhood safety. Okay? You live in inner city Chicago, you live in inner city Algona. Okay? Big difference. Well, but still, it's a big difference. Alright? Chicago's averaging about 4 murders a day last year. I don't know what they're at right now. Gang violence is horrible there. Okay? So, school safety. I think we're pretty safe here. Alright, we do have a fob system. You're pretty much locked in, but yet somebody props the door open for something, you know, this or that. But it's locked more than it was 5 years ago. Way more than it was. Okay? School shootings happen. Alright, we did have one bomb threat. Was that 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
We were in
I was gonna say
So 3 years ago. Okay, 3 years ago.
Yeah, 5th or 6th.
I think it was 4.
I was gonna say 4.
Was it?
It was either 6th grade because I remember
I was at C.
So you're in 9th grade right now? 10th. 10th. Okay, so you have been 4 years ago. So 13. So spring of 13. Alright. But school safety, do you ever worry about coming to school? Former player and graduate from here, Matt Vitztum, is the quarterback's coach at Grand Valley State. That's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids is a beautiful town, great campus, all that. One of his recruiting areas is inner city Detroit, the 8 Mile area. Okay? When he walks into schools, he is taken through the school with a police officer, escorting him through the school. He has to be checked, everything that he has on him, so he doesn't bring weapons in the building. They have metal detectors coming in and going out of the building. He said, he goes there, but he's scared. He said it's a scary feeling. So think about that. Nobody even thinks about that when they walk in the door here. Air quality. We have good air. Larger cities where it's bad. Los Angeles area, New York, Chicago, bigger areas. Because why? Why is it so bad in LA?
So many cars.
So many cars. 4 million people live out there, and California has different smog rules and laws that we have here, but it's still bad. You can just see it, if you've ever been out there, it just hangs over the downtown area. And everybody's driving out there. I mean, everybody drives, and not a lot of people carpool. Water quality, we talked about that. Great water quality here. Even though some people may say they don't like the water in Algona or whatever, it's still safe to drink. Anywhere in the country. Availability of parks. We have parks here. We have Central Park. We have North Park. We have the State Park. Okay? You go out to Smith Lake, they have a park out there. Okay? A couple of the schools have swings and parks where you can play ball or softball at. Okay? Availability of recreational facilities. What do we have here in Algona? Recreational facilities. Why is a big one? The pool, yeah, and we have indoor pool at the Y, outdoor pool in the summer. Okay. We do have tennis courts, parks, Smith Lake fishing, the bike trail that goes through our practice field. Okay. What's that?
Mini golf.
Mini golf, and the bike path's a good thing. I just didn't really want going through the middle of our practice field, but now if they extend it and take it out of town and go 10 miles, 12 miles that way, and you can ride 20 miles on a round trip, then it'll be well worth it. I don't know that I'm ever going to see that, because that takes a lot of money, so I don't know that I'm ever going to see that. But we do have recreation facilities. Availability of libraries. public library, and we have a loaded library here at our school. Access to medical care. Pretty good county hospital. Pretty good young doctors. Very close to a huge trauma and heart center at Mason City. We're 45 minutes away by helicopter to Rochester for Life Flight. So pretty good medical facilities where we live. And then cleanliness of your surroundings. Pretty clean town. I mean, you'll see some papers now, the snow's melting. You'll see some stuff in the ditches. But, you know, you don't walk downtown and have garbage stacked on the sidewalk. Well, how many of you went to New York on the trip? Garbage all over the place in New York, isn't it? Isn't it?
Pigeons everywhere.
Pigeons, garbage, filthy. Okay? Even in Des Moines, there's some areas that aren't as clean, but you don't see a bunch of garbage piling up everywhere. So cleanliness is a big one. Alright? Big one about the physical environment. So, this is going to be your assignment. And it won't be due till the end of chapter 2 at the end of this lesson. 11 by 17 paper. I don't care if you want to make it colored or not. I want pictures of healthy environment. It can include water, it can include a lake, a drinking fountain, a park, somebody riding a bike, exercising, food, air quality, things like that. Your surroundings and what gets involved in a healthy environment. Okay? And you can just cut them out of any magazine you want to. Okay? I'd rather have magazines than newspapers, just so we can see the glossy pictures now a little bit together, and everybody understands what the collage is, right? We kind of put the pictures in different directions. I'm not a big artsy guy, okay? I'm not real talented in the art department, but I'd like more than just 3 pictures slapped up there. Yeah, John? Yeah, you can print them off. Yeah, you can print them off. Laurel?
How many, like, should we just put pictures on, or do we write on it all?
You can put words by the pictures if you want to. Make it creative as you want. If it's creative, I'll give you a good grade because I'm not a creative person at all. I wish I was, but I had to draw a ultimate community and healthy community for my class last summer. And it was basically stick people in boxes. Had to do an outlay of a healthy town. But I had community garden, I had a bike path, I had a church, I had schools, neighborhoods, multi-level living areas, but I'm not very artsy.
How big?
11 by 17.
Are you giving us that, or?
If you can find it, otherwise I'll get some from you out of the office or out of the printer. Okay, just one sheet, one side, all you have to do. And we won't have it due until we get to the end of the whole unit, not just the chapter.
If we get it done early.
If you get it done early, you can hand it in if you want them. Okay, so social environment, now all the people around you, family and peers. Who are your peers, Bill?
The people in class?
People in your class. Here's the definition. People same age who share similar interests. Am I your peer, Bill?
Sure.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not 16 anymore, Bill. I'm 49. But we do share some of the same interests. Athletics, pickleball, football, things like that. But we're not the same age. So peers are people the same age. People I work with, more of my peers. Okay? Closer to my age. Some older, some younger. Peer pressure, that becomes a big discussion. Believe it or not, there was peer pressure when I was a kid. A long time ago, there was still peer pressure in the 80s. I guarantee you there was. Just like there's peer pressure now. We just didn't see it on everybody's phone or Snapchat or Instagram or whatever you send out every 5 minutes. Facebook or whatever it is. But that's a big part of it. And peers, positive influence, negative influence. The peer pressure aspect. Okay? I'm not going to dwell on that a lot because you know about that. Culture. Language you speak. Food you eat. Spiritual beliefs. Traditions you practice. I'll go ahead and click it and give the definition. Pretty simple. Alright? Okay, sorry. I'll move out of your way. Culture of you and religion. Everybody in here Catholic? Because we have some non-Catholics that go to school, but, so, spiritual belief, that's a big part of your culture. Why you're here at Garrigan, big part of your culture. Okay? Everybody speak English in this room? Yep, at home? Okay, some Hispanic students don't. That culture is really influenced what school districts? Belmont, Clarion, Eagle Grove. Started to influence Humboldt. Okay? Why? Because of all of the hog houses, the chicken farms, the egg farms over in that area that support those families. People there, the Hispanics working there for $9, $10, $11 an hour that nobody else is going to work there for. Okay? And they've made more money in their lives than they've ever made. Okay? That also influences what? Food. Okay? In Clarion, Belmont, Humboldt, they all have a Hispanic grocery store. I've been to the one in Humboldt, it's kind of cool, downtown. They even have a back part that's got meats and stuff. They had ham hocks in there, hocks in there and stuff. All kinds of dried peppers and stuff for recipes, ancho peppers, and other ones. I did not eat at that restaurant in the back. Have you eaten the restaurant in the back? Rick Boysley, I went down there with him, and he said him and Genevieve there said it's really, really good. Really authentic and really, really good. So that's influenced, all right, different parts of our society. We don't see it. Okay? Also, look around here. Not many minorities in this room. Okay? So culture, we don't see culture. All right? You don't see culture very much. All right? The Hispanic influence in this part of the state, we're starting to see it more. Okay? Customs. Anybody's parents or grandparents or grandma make something special on the holidays? What? Jesus cake. I've never heard of Jesus cake. What's Jesus cake?
It's like this weird cake thing, like frosting.
Like a
So-
It sounds like
So it's like in the shape of Jesus, or?
No, it's like a regular cake.
Oh. But it's really, really good?
Okay.
So you say, oh Jesus, when you eat it? Is that where the name comes from? I'm just asking. I'm thinking more like lefse.
Yeah, that's what my grandma makes.
Grandma makes lefse. My mom always made wantas, Italian cookies at Christmas time. Even though we're not Italian, but influenced by the Italian culture where I lived at in Des Moines. Wantas. She made chicken and noodles on Christmas Eve. Okay, some people have special foods. All right, customs influenced by grandparents. Some different stuff you maybe only eat certain times of the year. So that culture influences you a lot, believe it or not. Attitude, the way that you view situations. Okay? And we talked about that mental attitude. I talked about the PMA guy yesterday. Okay, the coach that spoke about PMA at the clinic I was at. Positive mental attitude and influence it. Optimists are usually better in health than pessimists. Pessimist believes they're not going to get healthy or they don't know how to do it. The optimist believes the cup is half full. Pessimist, cup is half empty. I'm probably more of a pessimist than I am an optimist. Okay? Not that I'm not optimistic about some things, but I don't look at a half full, I look at a half empty. So, people view things differently. That pessimism has to balance out optimism a little bit. But they're optimists usually in better health. Okay? Behavior. That's something that you have total control over. And we'll talk here a little bit about high-risk behaviors and cumulative risks if you're doing something. Driving a car, no seatbelt on the cell phone. Cumulative risk. Driving a car, the cell phone on, talking on the cell phone. Cumulative risk. High-risk behavior. Probably. I can tell you, I mean, unbelievable the number of cars I see driving anywhere around town, and people are driving like this. Okay? They're not checking to see if their shirt's buttoned or the fly's open. Alright? They're looking at their cell phone. Okay? Healthful behaviors, nutritious foods, low-fat foods, daily physical activity. Not that you can't eat some things that aren't healthy for you, but making that choice to eat healthier foods. Get more exercise, be active, not sit in front of the screen all the time. And media and technology, they affect us. Constant presence of media messages. And I'll give you the definition of media, because you'll have to know the difference between media and technology. So media is how various methods for communicating information. The methods that the information gets out to you. How's media affect you?
Things like the news and stuff can be either biased in some ways, or they can give you different ideas to certain things.
Okay, biased in some way or give you different ideas than others. Also can maybe influence what you eat, what you do, what food you eat. Okay, we see that a lot in advertising. Media content is delivered through technology, print media, newspapers, radio, television. That's where we see the advertising factor. Okay? That's where we see, and little kids see, what do they see Saturday mornings? What's that? Cartoons. But what do they show between those cartoons? For?
Toys.
And, well, more for Lucky Charms,
Food.
Cocoa Puffs,
They're all bad.
Morning food.
what else?
Tea Nugget used to play.
Honeycomb, stuff like that, that are cereals advertised, promoted during that time of the day, okay, on Saturdays, targeting that audience. And when we watch the film Weight of Our Nation, we'll watch a 60-minute documentary done on HBO, Weight of the Nation documentary, we'll see how that control groups and food advertising companies went and had a hearing with Congress about that to see what was legal for that and what was not, and how other countries do that child advertising. Where are all the sugary cereals in the store?
They're at the bottom.
About from here down, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay? Eye level of young kids. About here down. Eye level. Bright colored boxes. Eye level. Used to give toys away when I was a kid and a lot of different stuff like that. Junky toys. You don't see that as much anymore. Alright? But still give them away. Prizes in the box. Things that you can get. Okay? So they're targeting those kids at that level. The healthier foods, they're up high. Or the healthier cereals, up high. My Kashi, it's on the top shelf. Okay, it's on the very top shelf. Up there. So that's a big aspect of it. How it is delivered to you. How it's delivered to kids. What means. And it's not just food advertising, but all different kinds of advertising out there. You guys get pop-ups on your phone or on your computer or your screen, pop-ups from something to advertise something. I get them on MSN when I'm on MSN checking out the news of the day. Stuff that's pretty much irrelevant to me, but we see it advertised. If we want valid health information, .gov.edu, addresses or websites maintained by professional health organizations. Okay? American Heart Association, Consumer Reports. All right? Anything that's .gov.edu is reliable. You can go on the internet and find whatever you want, right? If you find something you don't like, go to another one. They'll tell you something you do like about the same topic. But those are very solid websites. They're maintained by like the AMA, who else? AMA, agriculture societies, all right? Things like that. USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. They oversee everything that is animal and sold products, dairy, meats, okay, vegetables, fruits, and how they're sold, and to meet certain levels of where they're at. Levels of quality in the meats that are being sold. Okay? You guys talk about that in FFA, USDA, and things like that. Okay? We'll talk about other organizations as we go through this this chapter in this unit. Those are the better websites. Factors that influence. Okay? Understand it. We talked about that. A lot of the different factors that influence. Okay? That influence your health. Is that second, Mel?
First.
That was first, wasn't it?
This isn't lunch period.
Oh, it's not lunch. Okay, that's the end of fifth. Okay, finish up on this. Oh, for tomorrow. In lesson 2. All right, numbers 1 to 5, assessment on loose leaf. Lesson 2, numbers 1 to 5 on loose leaf.